I'm going to be showing a series of videos in which I had an encounter with some city officials in Ferris, Texas. I had an encounter with the city manager of the Ferris, Texas, and a couple of officers from the Ferris Police Department, also out in Ferris, Texas. Of course, I made my pre-recorded videos to safeguard myself. I was parked in another secluded location, basically trying to show proof of the stalking and harassment that I get everywhere that I go, whether it's from these agent provocateurs, these deep state agents that they have running around terrorizing innocent citizens, and or whether it's law enforcement actually, partaking in these stalking and harassment activities. So is there are like 3 or 4 videos that I'm going to be showing, and as they're playing, I'll give more of a narrative of what's going on. But let me go ahead and start at least the first video, and then continue on with any necessary narration. Just 1 second. I'm trying to recall where I had the videos. Was it downloads? No, Bluetooth. Okay, here we go. I am a victim of organized stalking and harassment conducted by local law enforcement, where they send out agent provocateurs to stalk and harass the target wherever they go. They place the target under 24 hours a day, 7 days a week surveillance. Let me get a timestamp on the video so you know the date. Just 1 second. All right, it is Monday, November 9th, 2020. It is 5:02 p.m. I am yet at another secluded location. It appears to be a business that is closed down. I am not on that business property. I am not on that property at all. I am parked outside of that property. This is where my vehicle is. And this is not a main street. It's a graveled road. So any activity that rolls through here, I will be recording. And I'm going to prove to you that I'm being stalked and harassed. There's no reason anybody should be driving through here, unless it's law enforcement and they spot me from the road. But again, I'm not on private property. Okay? So I should not have any issues from a legal standpoint. All right, I'm just panning around so you can get a feel for my surrounding. See what's all around me. Okay. I'll walk further up. Again, the location of where my vehicle is. I'm not on anyone's private property. Alright. So, what I'm going to do, because I don't have much memory in my phone, I'm going to make a second video if it's needed. If I have any encounters with anyone, I'm going to make a second recording. Just so I can prove to you that I am being sought after, having my constitutional rights violated, because it is illegal surveillance is what they're doing. Illegal surveillance. And that is obviously against the law. So, I'm going to end this recording. And again, if I have any encounters, if anyone rolls through here, I will be starting my video back up. Thanks for watching. All right, and just to give more clarification as to the reasoning as to why I was at this location. Earlier on, I was parked at a church, and an individual showed up and basically told me that I had to leave in a nutshell. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. I was asked to leave, so I left that church. So that's how I ended up in Ferris, Texas, at that location. I work in that area. The shift that I was working that evening is very close to the area that I was in. So my whole plan was to just camp out until evening time, until my post starts. And then, I would just drive down the street to go to my post. So that's why I was there at that location. And the purpose of this pre-recorded video that I did was to safeguard myself in case something happens. The judge or whoever that needs to look at the video will see what my intent was at that time. So it's very important to do things like this when you're targeted, because, again, these people are always trying to find ways to set you up. And as you'll see in the next video that I'm going to show you, I called it, pretty much having an encounter with law enforcement. Well, actually, this person was not an official law enforcement officer, but the way he approached me gave me the impression that he was law enforcement, because this guy, he had on a badge on his shirt. He had like a polo shirt on. He wasn't in uniform. He had a polo shirt on with a shiny badge on his shirt. Okay, he had on some jeans and like some boots or whatever. And he pulls up on me with emergency lights flashing. So he had the red and blue emergency lights going, and then there was also orange flashing lights that was mixed in with it. And I thought that was very strange. It's very rare that I get law enforcement pull up on me with emergency lights on. So when that happened, I thought it was something serious, you know what I mean? But it wasn't anything serious at all. The vehicle that he pulled up in wasn't even... Okay, so when he pulled up on me, it was straight on. I didn't see him pull up on me. I just happened to see the lights flashing because I was laid back in my I was laid back in my vehicle, just chilling, relaxing. And I got up and I saw his vehicle parked there with the lights on. I'm like, oh God, here's the police. But he was in a white truck, and it's different from the police vehicles that they have for their department out there in Ferris, Texas. And the way I found that out was I had an encounter with two actual Ferris, Texas police officers. So without further ado, let me go ahead and show you the video so you can see more of what I'm speaking of. Just one moment. I gotta go back. I think is it this one? Yeah.
Suspected. Come on, buddy.
What's up, officer?
What are we up to?
Chilling.
Chilling? All right, everything's good?
Yes, sir.
All right, I saw it fogged up and couldn't see through. Want to make sure you're all right.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. You need anything from us?
No, sir.
You're all good?
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Be good.
Yes, sir. Just like I said. That was new. That was the first time them putting the red and blues on. But, like I said, organized stalking and harassment. I don't even know what police department I am. I don't even know where I'm at, to be honest with you. I got on the freeway and just started driving. I know I'm not in Dallas. I don't know. Anyways, talk to y'all later.
Okay, so that was some really bad camera work on my part, and I apologize for that. This caught me off guard. Even though it was expected, it still kind of caught me off guard because these people, they have a way of knowing what your vitals are, if you're asleep, if you're awake. And the common trend that I've always had with experiencing this harassment, especially with law enforcement, is right when I'm on the verge of going to sleep, they pop up every time. It never fails, okay? So that's always a very strange phenomenon to experience. So I wanted y'all to watch the whole video, and then I'm going to play it back again and give more narrative as to what was going on. Like I said, it was bad camera work on my part. I apologize for that. I should have got his face more. But I was able to get, a shot of his face, and I'll pause that as I play it again and give my narration rather. One second. So let me start it over again.
Suspected.
All right, so the vehicle, he pulls up. He has the emergency lights on. There's also the orange light that's flashing. I'm not sure what that means, with the orange light included with the red and blues. But that's what he has going. So I was automatically under the impression that I was dealing with the law enforcement officer when I saw this. Okay. The truck he was driving was a white truck. I was not able to see the sides of the vehicle to be able to read any, police decals or identification on the vehicle to further signify that it was actually official law enforcement vehicle. So I wasn't able to see that. Okay, so that's the guy. 1 second. Okay. He's a city manager. His name is Brooks Williams. He is also the chaplain for the Ferris police department out there in Ferris, Texas. And I found that out because right after this guy left from me, not even a whole minute went by. Then the next thing I know, law enforcement, Ferris police department, they show up. Okay. And I'll give you more information in just a second, but I just wanted to get a pause the video so you can see his face. Let me also do this real quick too, so you can get a better view of his face. Just 1 second. Okay, so
Suspected.
Come on, buddy.
What's up, officer?
What are we up to?
okay, so did y'all hear me say what's going on, officer? And he failed to correct what I had said. He failed to identify who he was. Again, I was given the impression that I was dealing with the actual law enforcement officer. And you guys, I'm pretty sure, also observed that he had like a badge that was on his shirt. He had a polo shirt on with a shiny badge.
What's up, officer?
What are we up to?
Chilling.
You can
Chilling?
see it inside,
All right,
inside
everything's
the
good?
mirror.
Yes, sir.
All right, I saw it fogged up.
Chilling.
Come on, buddy.
What's up, officer?
What are we up to?
Chilling.
Chilling? All right, everything's good?
Yes, sir.
All right, I saw it fogged up and couldn't see through. Want to make sure
See, so there's the badge that was on his shirt, like a metal badge.
you're all right.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. You need anything?
And around that time, right before he said, "Do you need anything from us?" These perps have this thing to where they like to get in your personal space, and they'll talk with their hands a lot, and they like to put their hands in your face. So that's what he was doing at that point. He was real close to the door. It was like almost like him putting his hands in the vehicle, using his hands to talk, and he had his hands all in my face. But he was definitely out there for the sole purpose of provocation, harassment, to be meddlesome, to enact some of the common trends of things that these perpetrators always do, these agent provocateurs. That's exactly what he was out there doing. The question that I would have for Mr. Williams is, I would want to know what was his 20 before he had the encounter with me that evening. Where was his location? What was he doing? And what prompted him to approach my vehicle in the manner that he did, if he is not official law enforcement officer, okay? And even the Ferris Police Department officers that I spoke to agreed that he should have not approached me in the manner that he did because he is not a law enforcement officer, okay? Those officers that I spoke to, the actual police officers from the Ferris Police Department, they went on to say that they even wanted to see the video because their sergeant was interested in watching the video as well. So I don't know if this guy is going to get in trouble behind this, but, I might have something here. But let me continue playing the video 1 second.
Anything from us?
No, sir.
You're all good.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Be good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so he gets in his vehicle and then he leaves. Literally, not even a whole 60 seconds after he leaves, the Ferris Police Department, actual law enforcement officers show up, okay? And I want y'all to pay close attention to what was said when I play this next video. This is the actual Ferris, Texas Police Department.
So another officer pulled up again.
Notice how they don't have their emergency lights on, okay? No emergency lights. This is the usual encounters that I'm used to with law enforcement. They just pull up, get out their car, talk to me, you know, like they usually do.
That's like the second time.
This officer's name is Officer Shook, S-H-O-O-K.
I don't know what's going on. What's up, sir? What's going on?
I got a call about you out here.
You got a call? An officer just left. I just talked to an officer, like, literally less than a minute before you pulled up.
Okay.
In a white truck. Did you know who that officer is?
A white truck?
Yeah, it was like a white truck, had on emergency lights.
What do you
He had on like plain clothes, he had on jeans, and he had a badge like that, like on his shirt.
Okay.
So he wasn't in uniform.
Okay.
So you said you got a call?
Huh?
So what's up? What was
Well, it's called about you being out here filming stuff. They just wondering what you're doing out here.
filming? Oh, I'm not filming anything. Well, I'm filming now. I'm filming you when you pulled up, but I don't have anything filming.
Okay, what are you doing out here?
Hanging out.
Do you have any property out here?
I'm not gonna answer that question.
Okay, then you need to leave.
Why?
Because this isn't your property, it's private property.
How do you know this isn't my property?
Because I just asked you that, you said no.
No, I didn't.
So you're not going to answer it.
Yeah, I said I wasn't gonna answer the question.
What's the reasoning for being out here?
I'm just hanging out. I'm not causing no problems. Just hanging out.
Okay, well, apparently the people that are out here
There are people out here? What police department are you with?
Ferris.
You said Ferris? Were you getting some communication just now? Okay. You're Ferris Police Department?
He had an earpiece in his ear, so he was basically getting instructions on what to say to me and how to interact with me. Oftentimes, that's what they will do with law enforcement. They'll have their law enforcement officers approach me to enact some sort of script, and it's information that's given to the officers via dispatch. Okay, so while he's talking to me, he's getting communication at the same time from dispatch as far as, you know, what to say and to how to interact and all that kind of stuff. So
Okay. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. I'm not up to anything. But I want to know if that guy was actually a legitimate officer that came out. Because it was a white truck, just pulled up. And then a minute later, you show up.
Well, I have no idea who showed up out here.
Can you find out from your dispatch if you had an officer pull up to this location?
They would have told me if they wanted.
They would have told you? Okay, I'm going to stop this recording, and I'm going to show you what I got and see if you know who this person is.
okay, so in the next video that I'm going to show you, remember what he said in this video. He said he was like some people had called in, or he got a call, and he didn't say anything about the city manager calling in this video, but he went on to say in the next video that the city manager called. Okay, so he didn't disclose that initially. So I thought that was very strange. If the city manager, how did the city manager call that fast? You get what I'm saying? Because literally, it wasn't even a whole 60 seconds after the city manager left me at the location, okay, that Officer Shook showed up. You get what I'm saying? So that was super fast, you know, under 60 seconds. You know what I mean? So it was almost as if like they were just around the corner and they had all this, you know, pretty much planned out as far as, you know, them showing up in the way that they showed up or whatever. So let me go ahead and play this video. Just listen carefully. That one, okay, here it is.
Okay.
So if there is some documentation of that.
Okay.
So it is documented. It stays in our system. It doesn't.
But he is not. You just said the guy was a city manager.
He is our city manager.
What's his name?
Brooks Williams.
Brooks Williams. Okay. So he's not authorized to approach me as a law enforcement officer, because that's pretty much.
As far as I'm understood, I don't think that he has any like law enforcement authority or anything. I don't think he's a reserve officer or anything like that. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think that he would have the authority to come up here and contact you like that.
Okay.
He was doing his perp duty. That's why he approached me in the manner that he did, because he got an alert that I was in the area. So, you know, it was his duty to come out there for the sole purpose of harassment. You know, he had emergency lights going, trying to give me the impression that he was a cop so that I would, you know, try to cooperate better or so that I could be intimidated or whatever. But come to find out, you know, what he did was pretty much unlawful. Like him not even correcting me when I said or addressed him as officer. Like he did not even correct me and say, hey, I'm not law enforcement. But let me finish playing this.
So can you make a report? And I see you have other officers or one more.
That's our K9 unit officer.
Okay, gotcha. I just need to make a report with you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? To have documentation of that, because he should have never approached me in the manner that he did if he's not a law enforcement officer.
I get you.
Okay. And then he had like the badge on his shirt. The y'all city managers supposed to have badges and stuff like that.
I think he's also our chaplain, the police chaplain. But then again, they're not law enforcement, just a chaplain.
Okay.
You see, it seems like this guy, Officer Shook, seems like he's unsure, because he says, I think he's also the chaplain. You get what I'm saying? So it's just something about this whole thing just doesn't add up.
So he would be, his badge would be like mine, but it would say chaplain up here, as opposed to officer.
Okay. What's your name and badge number? Nothing against you.
No,
I know you're doing your job.
No, you're good. My last name's Officer Shook.
Okay.
222 is my badge number.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
What I need from you as a citizen, I just need like an incident number. Like I said, I just want to make a report of this situation. That's all I need. It's just you generate some sort of report and then provide me with an incident number.
Sure.
I know I can take that incident number to your department or whatever to get record of it that way. So that's all I'm needing.
Okay. I can get you our call for service number.
Okay.
Like I said, once documented, all the call notes that will be in there, that I'll say and all that stuff, will all be in there, and that you can get a copy of that if you wish.
Okay. I appreciate your help, Officer Shook. I am not a bad guy. I work. I'm an officer. I'm a security officer myself. Okay. Trying to get back on my feet.
I got you.
I just experienced a lot of encounters from law enforcement.
No, I got you.
A lot of places
I'm
I
not
go.
trying to him you up or anything like that.
No, I appreciate. I know.
Just come out here just so you know what you do.
Okay, I appreciate it. But yeah, if you could get me the card or whatever it is you said you can get for me, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. Let me. I actually was checking in the service, so I don't have my business card on me.
Okay.
But I can write it down on a piece of paper for you if that's okay with you.
That's fine. Okay. Do you need to search my vehicle? I have nothing to hide. If you want to do a search, or
it's just. Can I just see ID just see who I'm talking to?
I'll show you my ID.
Okay.
That's fine. I'll show you my ID.
It's all
actually,
sure.
I'm a concealed handgun carrier.
Okay.
My firearm is not on my person. It's in my vehicle.
Okay. Where at the vehicle?
The back seat.
Okay.
And I have a firearm that's a shotgun that's in the back seat. I really don't want to reach in there. I don't.
Where's your wallet or your ID in relation to those?
It's in my backpack, which is on the passenger side. Yeah.
Okay. If you want to go on the other side, you can do that.
Yes, sir. I will do that.
Okay. Sorry. I just wanted to pause it real quick. But I don't... Why did it do that? That's weird. I'll go back to it. Sorry, y'all. I don't know why I did that. What's going on? Okay, so, what was I even going to say? I hate when I do that and I lose my train of thought. I wasn't obligated to show him any identification. I just chose to do it at, just for that time or whatever, because they seemed really nice or whatever. So I just went ahead and just showed them my ID. I'm not obligated, just so you know. This is in the state of Texas. You're not obligated to identify yourself if you have not been placed under lawful arrest. Okay. You are obligated to present the officer with the valid name, address, and date of birth, provided that you have been placed under a lawful arrest. In order for that to apply, you have to be under a lawful arrest. If you are placed under lawful arrest and you refuse to identify yourself, the officer can then charge you with failure to identify. The officer has every right to go ahead and ask you for identification. Okay, they can request it, but if you are not under arrest, you do not have to identify yourself. Okay, so just know that. I was not obligated to show ID, but because I chose to do it, I went ahead and gave it to him. Another reason why I don't like to show identification is because, especially if you're targeted, okay? If you keep having encounters with law enforcement and each time they encounter you, they're wanting to see your identification, what happens is they are looking you up in the system. And furthermore, it's going to show record that they've had an encounter with you. So let's say you've had an encounter or two with law enforcement already, and then you get into it with a perp, and then law enforcement is called out. They're going to look in their system, and they're going to see that you've had previous encounters with law enforcement. They will use that as clout to then try to charge you and get you arrested for something. So that's why I never show them my identification, okay? Because it's logged in their system, there's record of it, and they can use that as a means to, to take you to jail. Because they'll say, okay, this individual seems to be a problem, with law enforcement. He keeps having encounters with law enforcement, and here he is, get into it with this person or whatever. Let's take him in. So that's why you don't show these people your ID, unless it's lawful or whatever. All right, so at this point, I'm getting in my vehicle to get my ID for the officer.
You want to produce your flashlight so that you can see? All right. Oh, it's locked. Let me see. You just reach on this side. Yeah, it's just right here in my backpack.
Also, if you have weapons in your vehicle and you're going into your vehicle to grab ID or whatever, always let them know. Because you don't want to be in a situation where you're trying to reach for your wallet and it just so happens to see there's a gun there, that could turn out bad. So it's kind of important to let the officer know, to put them at ease that you're not up to anything and that you're being open with them, just for the sake of everyone's safety. So just be aware of that. Just let them know that you do have that. If you have to reach in the car to get something for them.
I don't want to hit you.
No, you're good, man.
Okay. And okay, I got it. Here's my ID.
You live in Webster still?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a valid address and everything.
How do you say your last name?
Ochuko.
Ochuko?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Obviously, I don't live in Webster, but, they could use that against you. Had I told them, no, I don't live there anymore, then they can use that and say, well, you don't have the correct information on your driver's license, and they can try to use that against you. So, yeah.
You said you were going to write it down, so I'll just get that from you.
The call number?
Close this door.
Yeah. He's actually called it, and he's going to write it down for you.
Okay, perfect.
The only thing I ask is it just goes like, I don't know if you're a photographer or whatever you are.
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you?
No, I'm not a photographer.
Okay.
No, sir.
So you can kind of see why it looks weird, why you have a tripod out here, things like that.
Yeah, I understand.
Why someone would come out here and talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's the reason why we're here talking to you, man.
Okay.
And of course, city manager called it in. So, The only thing I'd ask is I mean, you're out here in light. You're in a lit area, so just be cautious.
See, if you notice, he said the city manager called it in, but initially he said some people called. Okay, so he didn't say nothing about the city manager. If you remember what I was talking about earlier when I said, remember when he said that some people called or whatever, then he backdoors and said it was the city manager. Okay, so there's a bit of a discrepancy with what the real story is behind this.
Don't be walking around doing anything like that.
Sure.
To make you look even more suspicious.
I was just staying in my vehicle. My shift starts at 10 p.m., so I was just going to leave from here and go right down the road to my post.
Okay.
That's it.
Hey, man, that's cool. So that's our call.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So this is our call for service number.
Yes, sir.
2020-2596.
Okay.
So like if you call and would like a whatever, you can reference that number.
Okay.
And they can tell you what's on it.
Perfect.
Or they can, whatever they were able to tell you. I don't know what all they're able to tell you.
Yes, sir.
Or copy that or whatever.
Okay.
Okay?
Cool.
All right, man. You have any other questions there?
No, sir.
All right, man. Well, I guess I got nothing else for you. You got anything for me? All right, man. Just if you're going to hang out here, just be cautious.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'll be out of here soon.
All right.
Thank you, guys. So you guys still don't believe me? For those people that get on my page and talk about I need mental help and all this other kind of crap, I'm in a secluded place. There ain't nobody out here. And that officer straight up said someone called or some people called. Then he backdoored and said that the city manager called it in. Okay? So he gave me this number. This 2020-2596 said it's a call number. So I can use that to generate a report. But this is the stuff that I'm talking about. That's why I do these pre-recordings when I come to these locations, so that I can give an account as to what I'm doing, why I'm in the place that I'm at, and all that. It's very important to do that because these people are constantly trying to find ways to set you up. You know, these officers are not going to tell me that I'm on some sort of watch list or I'm deemed a dissident or anything like that. They're not going to ever tell me anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and they're approaching my vehicle again. Yes, sir.
Hey, can you see that video that you showed me of the city manager coming up and talking?
Sure.
All right, so that's the end of all the recordings. I know the cop watch community, they're going to be furious that I gave them ID, but I chose to do it. I know how to handle myself when dealing with law enforcement. I know I hadn't done anything wrong, so I didn't have a problem showing it to them. But I know they're, just to be clear, I'm not an auditor or anything like that. These are real life experiences that I have with being stalked and harassed by agent provocateurs that a lot of them work alongside with law enforcement to try to set up the targeted individuals. So I'm a victim of stalking and harassment, community mobbing, also known as gang stalking, where people get on code to basically meddle with the target, provoke the target to try to get a reaction that would warrant an arrest or to be placed in a mental facility or whatever. So That's why I record and I put my experiences on YouTube. I am not a cop watcher. I'm not an auditor. I don't try to set myself up in places where I know law enforcement is going to show up. I try to hide. I'm a runner. I run and I hide, and I try to find places to have peace of mind and to be left alone. So that's all I do in these videos. I'm not trying to get the attention of any cops, you know, but I've been in places where I've been deep off in the woods and the cops still show up. And I'm like, okay, how are these cops finding me, and who's calling the cops on me when there's nobody in sight? Okay, so that's pretty much it with that. This last part of the video, y'all saw how the cops walked back to my car again after they said they were done. I will go on to say that after they left, because they were curious to know, they wanted to see the video of the encounter I had with the city manager, okay? So that's why I cut the recording off so that I could show them the video. And I'm very disappointed in myself, because I'm usually good at, you know, getting all the footages and showing the encounters I have completely. But my nerves were bad, you know what I'm saying? I was just trying to get through it so I could be done with them. So even after I showed them the video of the city manager and they left, do you know the cops came back again? It came back again. This time it was just the other officer, the black officer. He asked me if he could get a copy of the recording I had of the city manager. And I noticed that they asked me a couple times if I was going to post it on YouTube. And I let them know that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. And I asked them what they thought I should do. And they pretty much told me, the black officer told me, he said, it's my channel. And man, if you want to post that video on there, I'd go for it, you know? So that's what he told me. And that's what I'm doing. I'm putting it on YouTube. But, so yeah, when he came back to ask for a copy, he just basically took his personal cell phone or work phone and recorded the video off of my phone. So they said that their sergeant was interested in looking at my video. So that's why I allowed them to see it, you know, to have a copy of it. Also, I gave them my YouTube channel, and when they came back again, they, you know, the black officer told me they had been watching some of my videos and stuff like that. So they were very friendly. It was a different vibe with them. Usually with other law enforcement, it's kind of like, you know, they're being perps and stuff like that. But it kind of, you know, to me, it seemed like they were being sincere. And it was almost as if like they were encouraging me to put the video on YouTube. Like they wanted me to put the video on YouTube. You know what I mean? So, you know, they seemed open. They seemed like they weren't shady or like corrupt cops or anything like that. I didn't really get that vibe. But I do feel like they knew a little bit more than what they were letting off. Like there's also that aspect of it as well. So I don't know. The Bible says don't trust anybody. So, all right, what else do I have? That's pretty much it. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. You know, like I said, I just didn't appreciate that a city manager approaching me like that. You know, and he's not even law enforcement. So this is an example of what I've been talking about for the longest time with this harassment. You know, these people showing up and, you know, just trying to bother me or whatever. But, man, I know there's something else. Hold on. Let's see if I have any paperwork here. So, yeah, this happened on November the 9th, which was yesterday. And the call number that he gave me was 2020-2596. So that's the number that I'm going to use when I reference the encounter. And then from there, I'll be able to generate a report of what occurred from the officer's perspective, and then just kind of go from there. And the incident happened between 5:48 p.m. and 6:48 p.m. on November 9th, 2020. All right, so that's all I got. Leave comments. Thanks for watching.